Hi. I'm doing great, Paul. How are you?
Good, very good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, you're welcome. How does the background look? Is it okay?
It looks great. Yes, it looks very good. Yeah, Bill
I don't
Baker.
know if I want to use my glasses or not because I have some notes, so I just want to make sure I follow. So I feel like I need them. Do they look okay, or
They look fine. Yeah, they look great. Okay. I am having some trouble. I'm going to see if we've got about 4 minutes. If I can figure out how to share the video that you gave me.
Paula, it's not critical if it doesn't work, so don't worry. Okay. I'd love to share it just because I think it really kind of helps start what we're going to talk about.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to give everybody a few minutes. They're wrapping up the conversation with the U.S. Chamber on the main stage, and then will join us, and I'll give everybody just a minute. I'll do a quick introduction, and then we can get started.
Great. I see some stuff in my background, my boys' golf clubs. You gotta tidy it up, right? You gotta see what's in the screen. That's better, yeah.
So I'm gonna see. Are you able, if I share my entire screen with you? I don't know why I'm having such trouble with this. Are you able to see my screen at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to adjust too. I hate that light fixture back there. You know how it's like you get so critical of like the backgrounds?
I know. Normally I have 2 big dogs. I had to shoo them out.
I wonder from my setting if I can change my background. Can you change your background from here?
Not on this platform.
Oh, no. Darn. I was going to say I have a really cool holiday background. It looks like a fireplace going. It looks really cool.
Yeah, yours looks really
yeah.
So just a couple of notes. You are live. So as people come in, you can see in the upper right-hand corner the little eyeball thing. It looks like we might have one person with us, and
can they hear us?
I think so.
Okay.
Although the room, it's like it says there's 2 out of 5, so I'm still trying to figure out what that means. But as that number begins to grow, the I number, I will just do a quick introduction and then kick it off to you. Unfortunately, I don't think that video is gonna.
That's okay. That's okay.
I did it a couple times and it just is, I don't know, technical difficulties. Okay, looks like we've got a few more people with us. So with that, I'm going to get us started. Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the conversation earlier with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. It's my pleasure to introduce Rocell Viniard, Director of Portfolio Marketing with Brookfield Properties. And she's here to have a conversation with us around purchasing perspectives and how shopping is changing. So with that, I will kick it off to you.
Great, thanks Paula, and thank you all for having me this afternoon. And the way we shop is definitely changing. And Brookfield Properties, our #1 priority was the health and safety of not only our shoppers, but also our employees. As you know, we employ thousands of people in each of our shopping centers. We have shopping centers across the country. And the health and safety is the most important piece of that. And it's always been the case, even before the pandemic, and it's going to continue to be the case well after. And as a company, Brookfield invested in a lot of protocols and changes to really provide that environment for our guests and our employees. And if you think about it, malls are designed for social distancing. With all the square footage and the common areas of our centers, it leaves for plenty of room and space for our shoppers. And our security teams did a great job of ensuring large groups were not clustering. We had social distancing signage throughout our centers. Our security teams also carried additional masks for those that really wanted that additional face covering. We also, as we were reopening to the public after the pandemic, adding hand sanitizer throughout the center. We removed common area furniture, our play areas. We know that they were fan favorites for the little ones and for the families. We ended up having to close those down temporarily. We also reduced hours. Our teams, because it really allowed our teams to have more time to clean each and every single day. And we also have frequent cleanings of all of our high touch areas, whether it's the railings in our centers, the escalators, as well as door handles in and out of the center. And also Brookfield invested in hospital grade air filtration MERV 13 filters in our centers across the country. And that was a big thing, for us, because we really had to adjust how we were looking at our business and how do we get our customers comfortable in coming back into our shopping centers. And we really looked at our consumer insights to see what it was that our customers were looking for. And everybody has, different feelings and comfort levels. And we wanted to be able to really listen to them and adjust the way that we were doing business. Back in April, right after we were, coming out or starting to close down our centers and starting to reopen, we started curbside. When our centers reopened, we started it in Texas and then really rolled it out across the country. And it really helped us serve our retailers and providing an outlet for them to sell their goods and guests to come to our center in a way that they were comfortable, in addition to shopping in the mall as well. So I think curbside was a very important thing that we did add for our centers. The other thing that, as we were heading into the holiday season, we realized, with all the capacity restrictions that were being enforced across the country, we really needed to think about that. And it's like, how do we help our retailers serve their guests, but also provide them with a platform that their customer can schedule a visit so they don't have to stand and wait in line to get in because the store is only allowed to have so many people in the store at a time. So we launched a platform called Spot Holder. We have this service now at over 90 of our centers across the country. And we invested in that technology primarily for our retailers to help them manage the lines, help them manage their guests, and keep people in socially distant ways so that they could get their goods out into the communities. The other thing, it's that time of year with Santa. And so one of the other things is Santa is such a sacred tradition for many families across the country. And Brookfield really wanted to figure out how do we keep that tradition? How do we encourage people to come back into our centers, shop, but yet still feel comfortable visiting Santa? So again, this summer we did a ton of research, focus groups throughout the country. We conducted over 12 of them. And we were asking them what it was that they were looking for and what would make them comfortable. And as I said in the beginning, everybody's comfort level is very different. So we needed to take all those things into account. And every day, as you all know, things are changing. The protocols are changing. The mandates are changing, you know, city by city, county by county, state by state. So we had to constantly evolve our thinking and how we were going to keep some sense of normalcy for our guests. And so Santa ended up coming into our centers. We have 134 centers across the country, Perimeter, of course, being one of them. And we brought Santa back. The number one thing we did was we made the visits contactless, keeping that social distancing. You know, the staff that's working plus Santa is wearing a mask. They're getting temperature checks before each and every shift. Additional cleaning protocols are in place. Social distancing by adding and requiring reservations for our guests. And then, of course, the hand sanitizer before and after. And, you know, those are the things that we did to kind of keep our business going and getting, you know, being making sure that our guests are feeling comfortable, as well as the employees coming into our centers. So just wanted to share some of those things that we were doing. And Bill Baker, I know, is with me. He's the general manager of Perimeter Mall. And I don't know, Bill, if you have any additional things to add that we've done before we open it up for questions. I can't hear Bill. Bill, can you hear us? We don't. Turn your mic on. Oh. I think we're having some technical difficulties. No? Okay, so why don't we go ahead and open it up for questions, Paula, to the group, if we have any. There's no questions? Can you hear me? Yes. There.
Okay, I'm having hello everyone. Siobhan, if I see that you have a question, do you want to type it out? Because I can't seem to I'm waiting on her question. And Bill, I'm sorry about the mic.
That's okay.
Bill, you can hear okay?
I would like to know what you believe will be the trend for food courts going forward. Some of our favorites have exited. That's a great question. For right now, again, every city and state has very different. So I think what it's done and what it will look like moving forward is just more space between tables, providing those, you know, sanitizing wipes. And we're hoping that as the vaccine is coming out and people are feeling a little bit more safe, and those mandates and capacities are increased, that our food courts and guests will be able to come back into our food courts. And I do think, as far as restaurants and retailers and things like that, you know, we are doing what we can, whether it is providing outdoor dining in some of our centers where we'll set up a tent and guests can come grab their food to go. And it's really encouraging that we want to keep our businesses healthy and thriving. So we are developing programs, things like we'll be launching a program called Dine and Delight after the first of the year. And again, people are wanting to get out and having some sort of normalcy and getting them out, coming to grab and go for right now until the restrictions are changed. But I think in the future, you know, we may have just less seating in the food courts is kind of my prediction. I don't necessarily know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I would anticipate that being part of it. Bill, do you agree with that? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Great. Any other questions? We have to have more questions than this, Paula. And Siobhan, did that answer your question? Great, thank you. I don't see any additional things coming in, but you know, when you look at the research and everybody, you know, here can really, there's a lot of really great insights and research out there that you can get your hands on. But right now, our number one focus has been just making people feel comfortable, providing those additional health and sanitation methods so that people are feeling safe. Because the research is showing that people want to get out, they want to shop, and they want to be in our centers, they want to dine. So just what are those measures that you're putting into place for your business to make sure that they are feeling comfortable coming back in? Siobhan mentioned, I like the idea of being able to schedule time to go to stores. I agree. When we looked really at the capacity restrictions across the country, everything is different. I mean, in California, it was like 20% capacity. So in, you know, smaller retail stores, if you have a couple employees, that doesn't really leave a lot of room for your guests. So it's like, how can we pivot as a company and as a retailer? And we knew that leading into the holidays where it's a little bit busier, that we knew we needed to address that concern. So Spot Holder was a solution. And like I said, it's rolled out at over 90 of our centers across the country. And it's really a resource for our retailers. It's super easy to use and guests can really plan their visit. Great, thank you. Thanks. Anything else? Paula, how are we? I think we're doing really well on time. I wish I could sit up here, I guess, and chat, but I can't see people, so I don't know what else I can share. Bill, if you want to type something, anything additional that you think we could share, I am more than happy to.
Well, it looks like we have about 1 minute left. And
okay.
Yeah,
Great.
So that was a terrific presentation on the climate out there and what's changing. So we'll keep an eye on the notes in case anybody has any last minute questions.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me, and it was a pleasure, and I wish you guys all the best for the holiday season.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. Thank you, Bill.
Great, thank you.